Welcome to another podcast of the current situation at Manchester United. Hope you guys are enjoying the Wednesday evening so far. It's kind of chilly on my end. The fall is falling upon us. It's getting colder as the calendar days get older. But we just keep on moving forward, and I have to use that same energy with Manchester United because since the transfer window is closed, we cannot get any other players in the transfer window of the summer. It wasn't really summer, it was a part of the fall and the summer, but I'm going to give my evaluation. My evaluation. Hold on, I have to look in the screen, the face of the screen to see how handsome my face look. Um, yeah, just yeah, the summer transfer window for Manchester United was it was an interesting one because based on the players we were linked with, a lot of persons expected us to sign, since we got Champions League football, expected us to sign Champions League football type of players. And when that was not the case, people thought based on the players that were linked with, we're going to waste our money on those types of players. For example, Jadon Sancho, since there were alternatives, there's a hierarchy now. There was a hierarchy based on the players that would at least come in into Manchester United. For example, if we didn't get Jadon Sancho, would get Bale. If Bale didn't come in, would get David Brooks. If David Brooks didn't come in, we would get what's his name? Adama Traore. Adama Traore didn't come in, we get some low hanging fruit. You know what I'm saying? So based on the transfer as a whole in totality, this is the reality. Our transfer season, a lot of persons were giving their evaluation and the average, what the performance that happened into the transfer window. A lot of persons out of 10 were saying 6 out of 10, 5 out of 10, 4 out of 10. I think I saw a few persons saying 3 out of 10, which I think was based. I think that was just taking it too far. That's too far down into the scale. But based on the players that came into Manchester United, we should not be moaning and way with the national teams. We should be whining or anything because we had till we had from June to like 2 days ago to sign the players so they could become Manchester United players. But since those players are not into the camp of Carrington in Manchester United, those players are united with the clubs that they were with, that they were linked with us for. So based on the players that came to Manchester United, we should not be saying those players are not good for Manchester United. Let us just let us just try to be the algae in the mud. Let us just have a few happiness in our sad times. Yes, this is not the best time for us as Manchester United supporters, especially when we get knocked out. Well, we didn't get knocked out, but we just got 6 goals from a side from another side of London. I ain't go to their names, but that side, and that kind of put a cloud among us fans because we have that result nipped in the bud, but so is the transfer window. And when we look behind the window, we see that the players that came into the club were not top players. And I'm going to give my evaluation on the players that came into the club. So the first one is of course, this is not in a chronological order or the players that came in first. I'm just going to be spitting off the top of my head, that's all. So the first player is Danny Van der Beek. So my man came from Ajax, and I haven't seen much of him, but I'm taking it that this guy has goals in him. He's one of those players that will be impregnated by the midfielders, and he will deliver goals. He's that midfielder that will deliver goals. I told you already that this guy is in terms of comparison, he has the same style of play that was displayed by Aaron Ramsey when he was at Arsenal. When man was at Arsenal, he was banging goals. And with Danny Van de Beek, Danny Van de Beek, excuse my language, I don't speak French or whatever language he speaks. But yeah, Danny Van de Beek is one of those types of players. Like he's a third man runner. He loves to go in the box and score. Now I'm not saying he's like a Frank Lampard, or a Gerrard type of player that pings passes, spray passes, distributed passes, or just Leon Hay passes all over the pitch. I'm not saying that. That is not his game. His claim to fame is that he scores goals, I should say, because we don't want a goal from him. Considering that he has a goal for us for Manchester United, but we know that he has goals that will be delivered, and that's we need to be playing him in a more of a number 10 role, you know, play him in a number 10 role. If Bruno Fernandes is on the bench, if he had a stench of a performance, he's been dropped, play Donny van de Beek as a number 10 so that he could spend his time up there and get goals. This guy, I would say this guy has a hybrid of Dele Alli when he was at White Hart Lane, because I think that's where he left his spirit. When Dele Alli was at White Hart Lane, yeah, my man was banging goals. He was playing behind the number 9. He was getting in line with the number 9. And both of them were scoring goals. That is what Danny Van de Beek should be doing with Martial and the other transfer I'm getting to in a second, because he's a striker. But we need to play Danny Van de Beek behind the striker, and he will be getting goals like the striker. But as it relates to the transfer, I cannot really complain on this player, because again I haven't seen much of him. So to just give a false evaluation on the situation of this player will be it will be rude and crude, and it won't be a good representation from a Manchester United fan talking about the current situation at Manchester United. So I just want to say on this transfer that I am happy that it's made. It was made late, but my thing is that I'm happy with this player. I'm happy with this player. Maybe he's not a starter. Maybe he should not be in the starting pack of the starting 11, but I'm happy that this player is in the squad, because this is an upgrade on the pay grade of Jesse Lingard, Andres Pereira that went to, I'm going to get to him, but I think I spoke on him. But anyway, yeah, so my take is that I will take Donny van de Beek at Manchester United. He's already at Manchester United, so that we should, just bring him into the arm so that he can be warm. So my thought is that I'm very happy with this signing. Now the second one is and this should have happened like long time ago. Alex Tejas, my man, came in on the last day of the transfer window. I think he was trying to preach that Jesus Christ message, which I believe is true. That Jesus Christ message that, hey, I'm coming soon. I am coming soon. I'm coming soon. When it's whether it's morning, night, or noon, I am coming soon. And Manchester United fans were getting weary. Manchester United fans were full of anxiety. Manchester United fans were, they were getting anxious. They were getting tenacious. They wanted to know, when is this player coming to Manchester United? Because Manchester United, for how long, they've been crying out for a left back. They were crying for a left back. And when Alex Tejas signed on the last day of the transfer window, that gave us a sense of, I wouldn't say protection, but a sense of security, because we have secured a top left back. This 27-year-old player from Porto, this guy can just bomb forward. He can actually put balls into the box. And, he's going to be expanding the width of the pitch. That was a big one. Not that Luke Shaw doesn't, but he's going to do it more than Luke Shaw. And I'm just very happy with this signing. He's in line with Manchester United because he's a top club and he's at Manchester United. So I'm just happy with. I mean, he came late, and it's great that we have this player in our camp, and he's one of our troops now. But this should have been a player that should have come to Manchester United ever since like June or July, or just early. So next time, let us just try to adjust our strategy for getting players in the transfer window. The next player is no, I've never seen this player play football. I think he's a younger player. He's younger than me. Um, Ahmad Diallo. I think based on what I ain't go call Manchester United supporters, but some Manchester United supporters are of the belief that this young lad is a generational talent. He's a generational gem that was cut out of stone, and he's going to be put in the fire, and he's going to be proving himself that he's a generational gem. Now, if this guy was a generational gem, I would have obviously heard about him, because I can't recall a Manchester United fan saying this guy's name before he fell from France to Manchester United. Nobody was talking about this guy before he came to Manchester United. That is how you know he's a genuine generational gem. If he was a genuine generational gem, you'd be speaking about this player's name before he came to fame to come to Manchester United. A lot of Manchester United fans want to already hype up this guy, his name, and bring him to claim fame when he hasn't even played a game for Manchester United. That doesn't make any sense. Make him play games for Manchester United first before we give an evaluation or inventory on this player. That's what we need to be doing. Let us not, give a falsehood or hype in this player when we haven't seen him kick the ball. Yes, we have. Yes, you're going to be saying, well, Martial wasn't a generational gem when he was at Monaco. Yes, he was. People were calling the name of Martial before he came to Manchester United in fall of 2015. And since he's been at Manchester United in fall of 2015, he's been on a routine to greatness. Hold on. He actually won the Golden Ball when he was at he's still at Manchester. Bikers, excuse me, if you hear some bikers outside, they're trying to interrupt a brother because they want some attention in my video. But continue what I was saying. Yes, Martial was a talent when he was at Monaco. Berbatov will tell you, and other players will tell you. See, my man Dial, well, he's not really my man because I haven't seen him play football yet. But this guy, this French guy, let us just not. Yes, he's a young guy, but let us not deny ourselves. Yes, this guy, he seems decent. We signed 21 mil for him, so it should be decent. But we have not seen him kick the ball yet. Let us not give a false evaluation on the player when he's at Manchester United. Let us not do that. He's a young player, and we know that young players are very vulnerable to hype. Whenever a young player, young players, when they are hyped, they're like a sponge and they're going to soak that up, and it's going to get to their head. When you look at the young players from the past, they allow the thoughts, the hype and the ego station thoughts from fans get to their brain, and when that gets to their brain, they notice that they never played no good football again, because they allowed the great opinions in the light to get to their heads, and they were basically saying, maybe I'm not good, maybe I shouldn't be playing that good football anymore. We should not be doing that. We should be waiting for sure for the player to prove himself. We shouldn't be giving a false evaluation on this player when we haven't seen him play in a Manchester United kit. That should not be our thought process. That should not be it. So the next player we have is of course, Dean Koontz came back to Manchester United. So I ain't go stay on Dean Koontz. But for you guys that don't know the name, some may call him Dean Henderson, but I call him Dean Coons. Yeah, Dean Henderson came back to Manchester United after having a wondrous season at Sheffield United. But he knew that that wasn't the real United he should be at. So he came back to Manchester United, where he's united with the fans, the supporters that will support him to be going to greatness. Because again, this is a young guy that he's coming to into his own zone as a top goalkeeper. This guy should be starting in the Premier League. When he starts in the Premier League, he's going to be in his own league as a top goalkeeper. David De Gea has passed his time and has passed his prime as relates to the time in the Premier League. Play him in the Champions League. Let that be his playground. Let him be the big dog in the pond. That's where David De Gea should be playing. And again, he's not really a big dog in the pond because we have Oblak in the Champions League. We have Ter Stegen in the Champions League. We have Manuel Neuer in the Champions League. So my man is in a kettle of fish as it relates to other top goalkeepers. So he's in competition. I'm not saying, speaking of competition, I'm not saying David De Gea should not be played exclusively in the Premier League, but he should that should not be his priority at this moment, because his priority is the majority of games in the Champions League. He's making mistakes, silly mistakes in the Premier League now. We cannot, and the reason why I said he should not be playing in the Premier League is because we have a young goalkeeper that has proven himself in the Premier League already. Play him and David De Gea, but more specifically and exclusively and primarily for Dean Koontz in the Premier League. David De Gea in the Champions League. So that is Dean Koontz. I don't want to say that much on Dean Henderson. Now this young player, definitely I've never heard of this young player. His name is Facundo Pelestri. I think he's Italian. His last name sounds Italian. Hope I get that right. Pelestri, yeah. So again, I've never seen this young guy kick the ball yet or lace up his boots, so I won't, lace up his head with thoughts of greatness. He has to prove that to me. I'm one of those players now. I'm one of those fans, I should say. But this young player, I hope he just proves himself, because again, I don't want to be giving a long soapbox or a long eulogy, because I know some of you guys have to go to sleep and have curfew to adhere to. But this is just my thoughts, dude. Let us just not. It's one thing signing young players that you have heard of and they're good, but it's another thing if you have signed a group of young players that nobody has never heard of, but you want to call those young players generational gems. That doesn't sit well with me. So again, I'm not going to be spitting, talking about him that much, because I've never seen him play in a game. So I don't want to send any fame to his name. But the next yes, the last one, they call him, well, I call him Tarzan, because I think he's, well, I said he's a president. He's our former president, past tense. He's a former president of PSG, because at PSG, my man was the G as it relates to being a top goal scorer. He's a top dog, and he left PSG to come to England to play in England for Manchester United, and I believe that is where he's going to spend his final hours in football. I think he's going to spend at least on a top level. He might go back to Uruguay or something, but as it relates to like top level football, yeah, I think Manchester United is the last club he'll be at, and his name is Edinson Cavani. I've been always a big fan of Edinson Cavani, and a lot of persons, hold on, a lot of persons have been backbiting, have been criticizing, have been putting putting bad names, bad claims on the name of Edinson Cavani, saying that he's past it, he's past his prime, he's past his time. He's missing goals. He's not that clinical as he used to. He's not fast. My thing is this, dude. We need a striker that has experience of knowing how to put the ball in the back of the net. Igalo is 29 right now. But Igalo, although he's 29, there was never a time in his career or in his prime where he was a top striker and clocking goals. Cavani is a proven goal scorer wherever he has been. Whether it's in Italia, whether it's in France, whether it's in Uruguay, whether it's in some other clubs he played for. My man has always been a top goal scorer when it comes on to goals. He and goals is close like this. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though he misses his chance before when he comes on to be in front of goal, because maybe him and the goal post, have beef or something. But more likely than not, he's a proven goal scorer. But he's done it with his country, bro. My man is a proven goal scorer. Plus, we need a striker that can use his head, can header goals. Igalo has physical prowess, but he doesn't use it properly. Martial is not that physically. That's not his game. That's not his claim to fame. So based on Martial is more of a ball to his feet type of striker. Cavani back in his heyday, when he was getting that pay, he could have done that because he was in his prime. He is past his prime now, but he's more of his intellectual, and not only his intellectual but also the outside, the physical, because he's physically good and he can head a ball. But you cannot head a ball if there is no ball played into the box. That's where, and although he's a fox in the box, my man needs balls into the box. Diego Dolo, cause we ain't gonna get no cross from Wan-Bissaka. Diego Dolo needs to be, when he's playing, he's going to be crossing balls into the box. And even more so, since he's going to be starting, I would hope, Alex Tejes will when he's overlapping, he'll be crossing balls into the box for Edinson Cavani. Edinson Cavani is one of the best headers of the ball. I would say he's at least close to, and used to play for Manchester United. He's close. I'm not even comparing the hairstyles right now. He's close to Radamel Falcao as it relates to headering the ball. Edinson Cavani is one of the most prolific goal scorers, not only in Europe, but for his country. Let us not criticize and emphasize the fact that yes, he's past his prime, and yes, he's done doing time as a top player, but he's still a top striker. Top strikers don't lose their instinct in front of goal overnight. You might have a few players that lost their mumbo jumbo or their mojo, but this is a striker that can actually score goals. When you're a striker, your instinct in front of goal doesn't just go. Well, Fernando Torres is an exception. I'm not talking about Torres, but I'm talking about most veteran strikers that are coming to the end of their career in the game. Edinson Cavani has lethal, elite finishing quality. He's a quality finisher. And he's in competition with Greenwood, Martial, because they are finishers themselves. My thing is this, bro. And people think that Cavani came on a free. Not to me. He came on a free, but based on the money that he had to come with for Manchester United to sign him, dude, it's best if we just, put money, sign for like probably 20 mil, because this is a guy that we overpaid for as relates to wages per week. Falcao was getting 300k per week, and my man was not starting that much. People are making comparisons with Cavani, Falcao, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, you know, Alexis Sanchez, as relates, passing the time and prime, coming to the day where you have to retire, and have to just aspire to be a retiree in the periphery of a home, being catered to. My thing is this: Cavani is a better striker at the age of Zlatan, I should say, is a better striker than Zlatan. When you have to understand that when Zlatan was at Manchester United in his first season, my man had the lowest, if not one of the lowest, conversion rates in the Premier League. Period. People are blinded by stats, but they don't want to be, opened to facts. Zlatan was the lowest converter in terms of goals scored. In terms of the chance he took, past tense, he took, and the goals he actually scored, his rate was low. His rate was on the low end. Cavani is a lethal striker. I'm not saying that Cavani was a better player than Zlatan. That's what I'm talking about as a striker, being a finisher. Cavani knows how to work himself into the box. He might be injury prone to a degree, but you have to agree that when he's fit, he can be lit into the box. He can score goals because he got it like that. This should light a fire under Martial's bum to wake the hell up. Martial is clocking goals, yes, but if my man is not, he should be clocking goals. But if he's not clocking goals, man should understand that he can go on the bench. If not in a more nicer scenario, he can be on the wing. He can be on the wing. Because Ole is not going to play two strikers up top. Two strikers in the Premier League is dead now. That is like a 90s early 2000s things, that's a different era, bro. We're talking about now. If Martial doesn't score goals, if he doesn't have one of those games where he's playing well, he's bringing others into play so that they can display passes for him, my man should be on the bench, sitting by the sideline and just watching players, be better. So that could admonish him but help him to be better. Cavani is going to teach Martial a thing or two in front of goal, and Cavani is going to teach the other strikers, the other attackers, how to score goals. Especially if you're talking about the head. Sure, I think Cavani's wife must be saying, "Man, baby, I'm happy that you're in England." You know what I'm saying? I don't want it to be, I know that you're a great header in football, but you give me good head too, Cavani, Eden's baby, I should start rubbing Cavani's head and say, yeah. And say, yeah, baby, I don't want to be teaching these Manchester United strikers how to be heading the ball when you're giving me good head each and every week, each and every day of the week, twice on Sunday. You know what I'm saying? Even when we go before we go to church on a Sunday, which won't be that much because you're going to play on a Sunday. But don't teach these players how to head the ball with their head that much when you're giving me good head. Yeah. So anyway, my man is going to be. I'm not saying he's the best signing. That's in line with Manchester United's status and ethos. That's not what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. My man has a pedigree to a degree in terms of the game as a striker. Let us not treat this guy like he's Bebe or Jemba or Fellaini. My man, well, Fellaini has a good thing for, Fellaini showing the ball into the net. He's good at giving head in terms of heading the ball. But as relates to the caliber of player, let us not treat Cavani as if he's Fellaini. Let us not treat the transfer window as if it was a below average window. It was an above average to a degree window because we have Danny van de Beek. Let us not forget that Dean Koons is a new signing. Is a new signing. So let us not treat that guy like, hold on. Let us not be treating that guy like he's new to Manchester United. Was our transfer window as good as Chelsea? Hardly. Was our transfer window as good as Liverpool? I would be a fool to say so. Was our transfer window as good as Arsenal's? No. Arsenal had a colossal transfer window. They had players that they signed to facilitate and accommodate the spaces that they needed to improve on. We didn't do that. So I would say arguably Arsenal is having the best transfer. But if did Manchester United have a good transfer season like Everton? Nah. Did Manchester United have a better transfer season than Man City, Spurs? Nah. But this is what we need to understand. We have good players as is. We have added players to the squad. As relates to players leaving Manchester United, and I have to say this before I turn my throat is my throat is preventing me from saying this, but I must say it anyway. I have to give I think Green's fall. I have to give Chris Smalling, a heads up. You know what I'm saying? Because whenever he was at Manchester United, he actually helped Manchester United in defense, and there were days, I guess it was one of his bad ways, but there were times he was very poor as a defender. But what we have to understand is that Chris Smalling, some may call him Mike Smaldini, my man was one of the best centre backs as it relates to headering the ball. When it comes down to the feet, when the ball meets his feet, then that's going to give us a defeat because he's not good on the ball. He's not good on the ball. But what we need to understand is that Chris Smalling has served his time at Manchester United. And he's left to open a new chapter in Italy. He's with Roma now. He loves he loves the Italian food, I would hope. But he's closed his chapter at Manchester United right now. And he's not going to open it. He's not going to have an addendum where he says, oh man, I forgot it. No. This is closed permanently and it will never open. Let us give Chris Smalling the level of degree or respect he deserves. My man has moved on. But anyway, right? So as it relates to the overall evaluation of this transfer window, let us not treat this transfer window. I'm looking at the screen. I have to look in my face because my face is sexy like that. But let us not treat the transfer window like it was Burnley's transfer window. Burnley has not signed a player transfer window. Well, you have to understand that Burnley doesn't have a lot of players. They don't have a lot of money. They don't have a lot of paper. That might be true, but you have to understand that you have to be grateful, bro. And I'll close with this story. Let's say you have a friend, a buddy that he was in the war. He was facing war. He was killing in the war. He was a warrior. He was a soldier. And his wife, he told you, say, bro, I know some of you guys go say, what? Really? That happens? Yeah, my man said to me, again, this is just a made up story. This is not real life. This is not real life by any stretch. But my man is going to tell me, bro, I'm going to be at war for like the next 6 months. Watch over my wife, and if my wife is horny, you deal with her. I don't trust any other guy but you. And I say, oh really? And I say, yeah, just give her a few climax of orgasm and then you just call it a day. And but Let us just say when he was at war, when he was at war, he lost his limbs. He lost his hand, he lost his legs. You know what I'm saying? And he almost lost his life, but God preserved his life. He came back from the war. Again, this is just an example I'm making as relates to transfers, the transfer season of Manchester United. He came back from the war. When his wife saw him, his wife left him because she didn't want to make it love to any mannequin didn't have no hands, that didn't have no glands. He didn't have no feet to meet the ground. You know what I'm saying? So basically, she left him, and I was like, you gonna leave this guy after he was just fighting in the war, and say, yeah, I ain't gonna make no love to no nigga. That does have no hands to wrap around me. He doesn't pull my hair or whatever. And I say, all right, bitch, leave. And then so she leave. And then say, bro, life is life is just like couples. You know what I mean? Like, your wife just left you. You don't have no fingers. You don't have no hands. You don't have no limbs. What is your purpose on living? Are you grateful for still being alive? And you say, yeah, my life, just because my wife has left me, my life can be a turnaround. Yeah, it can be a transformation, a rejuvenation of information. But I'm just happy that I'm living. That's what he's grateful for. He's living. He's grateful that he's still alive. Yes, his limbs are gone in the war. Yes, his feet are gone now, but he's grateful that he's still living and breathing and possibly still eating if depression doesn't sink in or something. Well, depression goes both ways, but that's not the point. My man is grateful that he's still living, although he has no legs. Burnley is still grateful, although they haven't had no signing of players. We should be grateful for the players we signed into this transfer window. Were they top players? Some were, especially Dean Koons and Alex Tejes. But we should be grateful that this was not, a below transfer window. Let us be grateful. And I close with that point, bro. Let us just be grateful. Let us not have the spirit of spoiled childs. Spoiled childs get what they want every time. And since Thanksgiving is coming next week, I'm pretty sure they're going to get 5 plates of foods accompanied by pieces of turkey and chicken. So they won't be they don't know what grateful is because they're spoiled. But let us just be grateful for the transfer window that happened, the players that came in. Let us just be grateful. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your night. Adhere to your I don't even know I'm tripping right now, but just enjoy the rest of your night and be grateful. Manchester United fans, be grateful for the players that came into the club. You guys stay safe. I'll shout to you guys in the next video podcast. Peace.